Hi everybody, and welcome to another author interview at In-House Publishing, and joining me today is Dr. Katie Richard. Hello Katie.
Hello.
Katie is the author of the newly released Weight Off Your Mind, which is a groundbreaking new book, and we've got Katie here today to tell us a bit about it. So what is Weight Off Your Mind, Katie?
So Weight Off Your Mind is a scientific evidence-based approach to end binge eating, facilitate weight management and improve body image.
Binge eating. I don't know a lot about that. I'm not that au fait with that term. Can you explain to me what that is?
Yeah, so binge eating is a little bit different from overeating. So overeating is just portion control problems, whereas binge eating is actually a disorder. It's called binge eating disorder, and it involves a process in which people tend to lose control over their eating, and they feel just like alcoholics can't stop drinking, they feel that they can't stop eating, so they eat mountains and mountains of chips or chocolates, and they won't just have one or two bites of chocolate, they'll have the whole slab. Or they won't just have a little bit of chips, they'll have a whole packet.
Right, okay, it sounds like it's quite a serious issue.
It is.
Okay, where does obesity fit into Weight Off Your Mind? Is that a factor?
Indeed it is. So obesity is connected with so many health problems, and I address that because a lot of binge eaters do have a weight problem because of the amount of calories that they consume. But it's also about body image, self-esteem, and a lot of psychological issues.
Okay, well tell me what inspired you to write this. This is a pretty comprehensive book. We're sitting on 300 pages. Where did the inspiration come from?
Yeah, so I had my own weight management problems and my own binge eating disorder, and I was so frustrated about being told, just stop eating, and all these motivational techniques, and they didn't work for me, and I was trying pills and liposuction and appetite suppressants, and that didn't work for me, and I was on diet after diet. And then I had my patients as well coming to me saying, how does this work? How do you solve this problem? And I eventually figured out that this is a problem that can be treated. So I did a lot of research, so I went through thousands of research articles. I then also came across this method called EMDR. Now I studied EMDR back when I lived in the States, and in Europe and in the States, EMDR is a method that's used quite prominently by many psychologists. Over here in Australia it's not that prevalent. It's primarily used for trauma treatment, but in 2009 I came across a patient of mine who wasn't responding to the normal techniques that I was using. It was hypnosis and ESM, which is a sort of a tapping method, and that didn't work, and I figured, well, let me just help this girl, and I figured let me just try something different, and it was the EMDR that I tried. And it worked so brilliantly. She had craved hamburgers and chips and ice cream and chocolate, and within one session I killed all those cravings.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty massive.
It is pretty massive.
EMDR, what does that stand for?
Eye movement desensitization reprocessing. So it uses bilateral stimulation through eye movement, and what that does, it transfers information from the right side of the brain, which has emotional content, to the left side of the brain, which has logical information. And it sort of makes you think more logically about food and weight, and people can tell you just that's what you need to eat, and your emotional brain will say no, but I want to eat more. And this is a method that transfers that information, so you can do it automatically.
Well, this is pretty groundbreaking and pretty phenomenal to hear something like this exists.
Yeah.
How does this work within the programs or the solutions you're offering in here?
Yeah, so EMDR is a part of the psychological treatment of binge eating and weight management. I found that this is incredible what came out of this research, because really what happened was I got so excited about this method that I was using. Nobody else was using it for binge eating disorder. Everybody else was using it for trauma, and I applied it to binge eating, and I got results after results after results. And when I presented this to my professional peers, they all said, well, you should get this out, the word out there. And I eventually decided to do a formal study on this, and had several participants in my study, and it showed really incredible results. So not only did people quit binge eating, They also lost weight, they improved their motivation to exercise, they improved body image, they improved self-esteem. It was just a magic formula.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Which leads me to this. In 2015, you presented at the Eating Disorders and Obesity Conference that was held here in the Gold Coast in southeast Queensland. And you were acknowledged by the Australian New Zealand Mental Health Association by what you presented there. And I believe that some of what you've presented is connected with the book. Tell me a bit about this conference. Tell me about the connection between the two.
Yes, so I wanted to let people know that EMDR is a fantastic way to get rid of the root, the psychological root of their binge eating disorder, and facilitate the exercise motivation and also improve their body image. But unfortunately, EMDR isn't that available in Australia. I'm pretty much the only person who does it in Australia. I've trained some other psychologists how to do it, but I've given some other alternatives if EMDR is unavailable, so hypnosis and some other psychological methods. But going through all the research, and I did go through hundreds and hundreds of research articles, all of them were saying this needs to be a multi-component approach. You cannot just address the psychological component. You also need to teach people what diet they should be on. It shouldn't be a fad diet that somebody's just cooked up. It should be an evidence-based sort of eating program, because people don't know what to eat. You know, people tell me, you know, I eat a healthy diet. When I ask for specifics, they say, well, I had beans on toast for breakfast. You know, that's not a healthy diet.
No.
And that does not facilitate weight loss.
Right.
So it needs to be diet, it needs to be exercise, and it needs to be the mind. So the foundation of this book is psychological methods and hypnosis. And it tells people, okay, now that you know how to do it, you know what to do. You know, in other words, what to eat and how to exercise. Because a lot of people think they know how to exercise, you know, just go for a run and it'll help you lose weight. Well, this book explains exactly, well, when to do the exercise, which exercise to do, how to do the exercise, and those sort of things.
Okay. I think it's pretty important when somebody's about to try something new to either lose weight or deal with an issue like this, that they don't go to the latest fad diet or the latest, you know, celebrity endorsement. So let's just go over this. You're a clinical psychologist, you are a hypnotherapist, you're a doctor. You've just identified that you spent countless hours research and went through countless articles. You presented it at acknowledged conferences, and now we're sitting there and we're holding this publication in our hand that's going to show people step by step how to literally get the weight off their mind. That's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Well, what's the feedback been since you put it out there?
I've had quite a few people saying it's quite a breakthrough, that insight that they get, that it's actually a psychological disorder that can be treated. A lot of people walk around not knowing that they have a disorder and that it can be treated. And it's also pretty much like, you know, being told all the time, you know, you need to just diet and exercise, simple as that. It's really not that simple. People cannot be told or be screamed at by a personal trainer saying this is what you need to do. It needs to be a complete change of mind. And that's the feedback I'm been getting. It's like, oh, this is what it's about. Yeah.
Well, there's this element of shame and no gain when you're in the situation and you're embarrassed or you're concerned that people are going to judge you. And I think that this validates a lot of what a lot of people in the situation would already feel and know, that there is a disorder here and it can be treated effectively. But that puts a lot of pressure on you in a lot of ways, because like you're at the far end of the country, you're not that easily accessible. What happens? People get this book, they're feeling like, okay, now I need to connect with Katie. What are they going to do? They can't just knock on your door or come to your practice.
Fortunately, I'm presenting Weight Off Your Mind slimming workshops all over Australia and overseas, and I'll be coming to your town soon.
Ah, that's good. And it's important that you do keep on track and find out where Katie is, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. So, okay, that's what you're doing with regards to spreading the word, doing some workshops. But is there another book in you, Katie?
Indeed there is. It's called Hip to Hip Slimming, and it's a bit of a supplement to that. It talks a little bit about bariatric surgery and what that can do and the limitations of it. It talks a little bit about slimming foods and is there such a thing as a fattening food? Is sugar as bad as so-called experts make it out to be? A little bit about diet pills, is there such a thing as a magic pill? And all of those things.
You realise how topical what you're writing about and what you're releasing is at the moment. It's extremely topical. Guys, if you would like to get a copy of Weight Off Your Mind, which I strongly recommend that you do, I mean, Australia, New Zealand, I think Western society in general has a problem with this factor. So get yourself a copy. You can get it from the in-house bookstore, also Katie's website, which is at the bottom of the screen there. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to me about this, and congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
See you guys.